The PlayStation Store is running quite a few deals right now, and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to cover games based on genre. If you guys still want to see games under the price of $5 or $10, just let me know. I'm going to try to hit as many sections as I can and go over as many of the deals in depth as I can. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 great deals on open world games, PS4 titles. Let's get right into it. Kicking things off is a game that I think a lot of people were hoping that it would go a little bit cheaper, but Ghost of Tsushima is still an excellent pickup at $40.19. That is 33% off. This was my game of the year for 2020, among either my favorite game of the year or second favorite. I go back and forth with this and the FF7 remake. I loved Ghost of Tsushima. I thought it was a fantastic game. I thought the story was excellent. I thought the gameplay starts off good, and then as you get more weapons, as you get more abilities and things like that, it just gets better and better. And then of course the culmination at the ending is so well done, and I cannot speak highly enough about the ending to this game. I thought they just did a masterful job from that standpoint, and of course has a ton of content. And in the case of Ghost of Tsushima, a lot of the side content is actually compelling content. Like, you want to go out of your way and do it, and if you do have a PlayStation 5, 60 frames per second takes this game to another level. Highly recommend it at $40 and change. Next up, we have the Batman Arkham Collection, which is 80% off for $11.99. Now, it should be noted, Arkham Asylum, I wouldn't really call it a full-blown open world game. Yes, it's open and there's some exploration to be had. Arkham City takes it to the open world environment, and then Arkham Knight definitely builds upon that. All these games are great. $11.99 for all three titles is an excellent pickup. I highly recommend you to play all three of them. My favorite is probably Arkham City. I just had a fantastic time with that game. Arkham Asylum is also quite good, and Arkham Knight is very good as well, even though I would probably put it at number 3. Visually, Arkham Knight is absolutely tremendous. $12 for all of these games is such a good pickup, and you should definitely take advantage of this deal, especially if you've never played any of the Arkham games. Man, you're in for a treat. Next up, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition, 75% off for $9.99. This is a game I constantly go to bat for, kind of one that has been lost in the shuffle a little bit. I don't know why it didn't really get more popular than it was. I mean, I feel like it sold relatively well, but I thought it was a great game. Has a lot of historical themes to it, so if you're into that, you're gonna be this is going to be right up your alley in that regard. And this is the Royal Edition. Comes with a bunch of additional content, and for $9.99, I feel like that is the lowest this game has gone. I don't know if it was $9.99 before. Felt like it was hovering around that $15 tier, whatever the case may be. $9.99 is such an excellent pickup for this, for all the content that you get. Yes, it does shift more on the realistic side, so just go into it with that in mind. But yeah, very good RPG, quality story here, and quite a bit of content to boot, especially with this version of the game. $9.99, great pickup. Next up, we have Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. It is 20% off for $39.99. Another one, a lot of people wanted it to be cheaper. Of course, this is on PS4 and PS5. PS5 version is excellent. Now, this isn't as big of a game, of course, as the regular Marvel Spider-Man, but it still offers a decent bit of content, and it is $40 versus, you know, paying $60 or anything like that. I feel like it should have launched at $40. I thought $50 was a little bit too much for what you were getting out of it. I thought $40 would have been more apt for it. Still, thought it was a good pickup, and for $40 now, I thought it was worth a mention. I should also mention Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition. This will get you the Spider-Man Ultimate Edition, and that includes the Spider-Man DLC and the base game upgraded for PS5. That game looks great on PS5 as well. They did a great job with that upgrade, and then of course Miles Morales also looks great on PS5. So if you do have a PS5, I think this is a worthwhile pickup. The upgraded version of Spider-Man does have a separate trophy list, so if you do want the Platinum Trophy again, you can go that route. It is quite pricey at $60.19, but you do get the original game and the expansion, so I thought it was a deal worth mentioning. Okay, next up we have Borderlands, the Legendary Collection. This includes a ton of content. You get Borderlands Remastered, you get Borderlands 2, and you get Borderlands the pre-sequel with all of the game's respective DLC. What that means is that this is a collection that you can spend an absurd amount of time on. The Borderlands games in general are very replayable in my opinion, so when you have 3 of the games, all the DLC, you are in for some some quality content. I loved Borderlands 1, and this version is upgraded a little bit. Borderlands 2 was excellent as well. Pre-sequel, not as big of a fan of it as I was Borderlands 2, but it's still a decent little game, and you're getting all that content for 20 bucks. If you can get a friend to jump on it, you guys can play the game together, and even solo, I thought the game was pretty enjoyable. So $19.99, definitely a good pickup for all the content you're getting here. Just a lot of hours of gameplay for your money. Okay, next up, if you are a Plus subscriber, I do want to point your guys' attention to the Dying Light Platinum Edition. I don't really know if I would call this a deal, but they're saying it's 75% off. It typically goes for $100. Yeah, do not be paying $100 for Dying Light. But if you have Plus, it's 75% off for $25. At that point, okay, we're talking. That gets you Dying Light and literally every piece of content to Dying Light. So that is a ton of additional content. It's kind of funny because they have released Dying Light so many times. They released Dying Light, then they released Dying Light the following Enhanced Edition, then they released Dying Light Anniversary Edition, and now we really have the Complete Edition with the Platinum Edition with all of the additional content. If you've never checked out Dying Light, this is the version to get, $25, and you get a ton of content. Wish it was a little bit cheaper. Honestly, I'm being very cheap at this point, but Dying Light is like, what, a 6.5-year-old game? I would have liked to see it at 20 bucks flat, and then, you know, I thought that would be a steal. 25 still pretty good. Hey, I'm not going to complain that much about it. It's a ton of content for your money, so I thought I'd give that a mention. But you only get the deal if you are a Plus subscriber, so keep that in mind. Okay, next up, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, 60% off for $24. I've talked about this game quite a bit, but if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're going to have a good time with it. I'm like a fringe Dragon Ball fan. Like, I like Dragon Ball. I watched all of Dragon Ball Z growing up. I kind of watched a lot of Dragon Ball Super. Like, I was in and out. I had friends over, and they put it on, and I would, like, come in, watch a couple episodes, and then dip. But, I know the general story, so you can say I'm a relative big fan of Dragon Ball, or a relative fan of Dragon Ball. However you want to see it. I know people that are crazy about Dragon Ball. I just want to say I'm somewhere in the middle. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a game that I really enjoyed. It recreated a lot of the quality Dragon Ball moments, and to play it in an open world RPG, it's pretty cool. If you go into this game without being a Dragon Ball fan, what you're gonna find is a pretty mediocre RPG. Let's get that out of the way right away. The game is really mediocre in a lot of aspects. Like, it's not a slam dunk great RPG, open world RPG from a fundamental standpoint. However, the element of you being a Dragon Ball fan will take the game to the next level, and you'll appreciate a lot of the elements of the game that way. That's how I would recommend this game, and $24 for it I think is a great pickup. They're releasing a ton of DLC for the game. I believe they're releasing the Trunks Future episode soon. It might already be out. I think it's out this summer. Don't quote me on that one, but I do know that's an episode that is coming, so take that for what you will. $24 for the base game, I think, is pretty good. Okay, next up, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, 16 bucks. Wish this was at a full 60 frames per second. Wish they would upgrade it even more for the PlayStation 5, but I love Skyrim. Skyrim's a game I literally beat so many times. I beat it like twice on the PS3, I beat it on the PS4, and then I beat it like 8 times on the PC. It's a fantastic game. I loved it. This version has all the DLC in it, and obviously it is upgraded to an extent on the PS4. Visually, still holds up relatively well, and you got a lot of content here for your money. If you never played Skyrim, and I know what you guys are gonna say, who the hell hasn't played Skyrim? Well, think about it, Skyrim at this point is a 10-year-old game. There's a lot of people growing up. Hey, if you're 20, 22 years old, you were like 10 years old when Skyrim came out, 12 years old when Skyrim came out. Maybe your parents didn't want you to play an M-rated game, but now you're a little older, and Skyrim's down to 16 bucks, and I would say that it's an absolutely great pickup, so definitely go check that out. Okay, next up, No Man's Sky, 50% off for 30 bucks. No Man's Sky is an easy recommendation just because we know that this game is going to have an insane amount of longevity. Hello Games has proven that with all of the free updates that they've been rolling out, and if you have a VR headset, even better, because No Man's Sky is one of the most engrossing VR experiences, and even if you don't have VR right now, VR 2 is going to be coming out for the PlayStation 5, and that'll be great. Is No Man's Sky perfect? Absolutely not, but when you go back to 2016 and you're talking to somebody that paid $60 for the initial experience back in August of 2016, man, it is a far cry from where it was, and you're talking about paying half the price that a lot of people paid back, 5 years ago, and you're getting so much more content, so much more out of your money, and you know that that content is going to be rolling in for a very, very long time. So if you want a game with a lot of longevity, No Man's Sky is going to be exactly that. And lastly, do want to give a shout to a game that I often give a shout to Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen down to $9.89. Excellent deal. Dragon's Dogma 2 is apparently in development. That's going to be great. Dragon's Dogma does show its age here and there, but, you know, it's upgraded for PS4. A lot of those initial technical restrictions that were on the PS3 version, those have been removed, so that's really good. And if you want a game that's relatively challenging, rewarding, and has pretty good gameplay, Dragon's Dogma is going to be right up your alley. Dark Arisen also has some additional content, this version of the game, so sub $10 for this. Thought that was worth a mention as well. And that's going to wrap up this one, guys. As always, let me know what you guys think, what you're picking up, any other genres you want me to see cover. I imagine some of you guys will want to see some JRPG deals, so we probably will go over that. Didn't see too many JRPG deals, so we'll give the sale another look and see what's up with that. But that's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.